Welcome to Grow My Etsy Shop podcast, the drips of knowledge you need to start growing. If Etsy's so great, why doesn't every brand have an Etsy shop? It just seems like Etsy can drive traffic to you. It provides accessibility to easily be on the internet. They pay for Google ads. You can run an ad platform directly in it, and then you can generate and create sales for yourself. So why don't all brands just do this? There must be an advantage to having your own website, and this is what we're going to be talking about today. This is for those who are selling on Etsy and know that they could be reaching more on a website, but don't quite know how to take what they've learned from Etsy and bring it over to a website. So we're going to break down some things that I think are going to be helpful for you. The first thing you need to understand is that Etsy, it cares about one person, and that person is Etsy. So Etsy's trying to make money off of your products. That's what they're trying to do. And so if your products aren't doing what they like, or if they could get more money from other people's products, they're going to go favor those people. I had a question in the school group that talked about how do these new shops that come out get more sales than me, who's been out for a long time. Now, you may have suffered from this or felt this before. There's lots of reasonings to this, but one reason is Etsy kind of feels like they have you in a lane, and these new shops are like, yeah, we want to give them a shot. We want to see how well they do. We want to see how fast they fulfill. We want to see how cheap their products are. And so they allow that to kind of happen. They test new things. There's not a loyalty to you just because you've been on the platform for a while. What they're looking for is who do our customers want and who will make them keep coming back and buying from them. And whoever that person is, that person's the winner. Etsy this week has been making sort of some changes. Whether or not they're going to stick, we don't know. But what we're seeing is, and if you're on YouTube, you'll see this, that they are taking away the shop name and replacing it with your name. So if you're looking for coastal jewelry and you start to go through that, it'll say handmade by Jared, handmade by Tatum, handmade by Jason Tatum, for anyone who's a basketball fan, so on and so forth. And so what Etsy's doing is they're removing your shop name and putting your name. I think this is a great move from Etsy from what they're trying to do in the branding standpoint, which is like, yeah, well, you can go buy it from some no-name China shop, or you can buy it from a human. But when it comes to you and your growth and your development, could be somewhat damning, because if someone's buying from you, they're not learning about your shop. They're not learning about your brand. They're not connecting that to the brand. They're connecting to you, and you are hard to scale. Now, what I'm not saying is that you should hide behind a brand, because this is a big mistake that Etsy sellers make, is that they try to put their brand so centered. Etsy isn't a big fan of that strategy, and then try to hide themselves. And so on Etsy, this just doesn't work as well. You do want to be client-facing. You do want to be customer facing. You do want to have that exposure, and you want to make sure that people are connecting you to your product. It's just a difficult thing to do at scale, meaning like when you start to really move and hum, you're not going to be in you might not be the person responding to all the emails all the time. And so you want to have some loyalty to a brand that then you're connected to. So for the rest of this podcast or this YouTube, I'm going to go into some deeper strategies on how we can maximize websites for our Etsy shop. What's going to make us different? Because you can't rinse and repeat what you're doing on Etsy onto a website. If you do, you might as well just be on Etsy. And you probably should go the Amazon, the eBay, the Walmart route with that strategy. But if you're looking to internalize your brand, build a brand, then this is what I need you to do. Now, again, we're going into a higher atmosphere here, so buckle up. It is very common that someone's going to say, well, I make handmade, unique ceramics. So they're going to make a website that says, I make handmade, unique ceramics. And then they're going to wonder, why don't people connect to my brand? Because you can always use paid traffic. You can always push people into your website, and people are going to buy your product if you have a good product. But where's the brand loyalty? What makes someone say or love or connect to a brand? And I've talked about this before. There's a couple of building blocks that you need. Number one, a brand needs a mission that then connects someone to their mission. Hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to overcome. This is what we're trying to see. This is what we're trying to create. This is what we're trying to avoid. And so when someone sees something like that, they're like, oh, I love that she's doing that, or that this brand is doing that, because I'm really frustrated with my current brand. One of my favorite brands is the brand Spindrift, which is a drink. Now, what makes Spindrift relate to me? Why do I buy them more than anyone else? And it's that they don't use natural flavors. Their tagline is, worth the squeeze, real fruit tastes better. And I love it, because if a can says natural flavors on it, sweetened with pineapple and other natural flavors. Those could be anything. I don't know what that is. I want to know what I'm putting in my body. This speaks to Jared. Jared buys from this. Again, if this was just a carbonated water brand, I would have never bought it. They did something different. I connected with it, and off we go. Now, this is where we move into the next big frame. This is one of those, if you have a pen and paper, get it ready. There's going to be 3 questions. This is from one of a famous copywriter named Harry Dry. He is great, and he speaks about this principle. And this principle is literally the difference between excellent brands and brands that just don't make it. Now, so many of us are really good at making products, really good at taking pictures of them. But if you don't know how to sell your product, and that means visually and verbally, you're going to flop a bit on a website. So I'm going to be focusing on verbally today. How do you verbally sell? Now, this is what's really nice about a website, is that you're given freedom to create an environment that you can verbally sell. Etsy's a little bit different. You're trying to go through, there's those pictures, you can put little punchy things on those pictures, but for the most part, someone has searched for what they're looking for, they've landed on your page, there's lots of competition to what you're doing, and you're trying to get those punchy sales into them so that they can then connect with your product and buy. On a website, slow it down, my friend. Talk about this product, visually show them, tell them about their product. Don't be afraid to make some claims that make you unique and help connect brand and then brand to love of the product. And here's how you do it. I've teased you enough. I'm going to drop it in here. Number 1, you have to ask yourself this question. Can someone visualize what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to break these down for you so that they'll make sense. Can they visualize it? Can they falsify it? Which means, can they prove if it's true or false? And then the last one is, can nobody else say it? That's an important one. Okay, can you visualize it? Can you falsify it? Can you make sure that nobody else can say it? So let's break this down to each one. 1, can you visualize it? So let's go back to our mug. If someone just says ceramic, handmade mug, okay, is that visually stimulating for me? I guess in that scenario, yes, you are describing perfectly what the product is, but there's no emotional journey through that visualization. So what you want to do is, if you're going to make a claim, if you're going to say something, you want to paint a picture to your target audience and avatar. You want them to see the product themselves, using your product, wearing your product, displaying your product. And so the way you do that is you create a visualized messaging that makes them connect. So for example, the mug she will reach for in the morning, or the mug that says, "This little moment is mine." I feel like we can go better. Or the 6. Oh, okay, I got it. Sorry, you're watching me live. Because I'm thinking you get up early, right? So you get up early, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 a.m. So it should be the mug that makes 6:30 exciting to wake up for. The mug that makes you want to wake up at 6:30 a.m. Something like that. So now you can imagine you have your mugs out, maybe like a little video that's auto playing in the background, and you got that bold headline that says, "The mug that makes 6:30 worth waking up for." And the coffee being poured into it. Now what you've done is you've created something visually that connects to the person that wakes up early and is reaching for their mug, and they've got all the mugs in there, but they grab that mug. That's what you're selling. That's what you want to connect. That's what makes something different than when you're just like, handmade ceramic mugs. It's like, okay, great. I guess I'm choosing a mug. Versus, this is the type of mug that you're choosing, and I've made you visualize your life with my product. So that's number 1. So number 2 is we have to create claims that are truthful, and back those claims up. Okay, because what happens is with step 1 is that we created a visual, emotional experience. Then when we start moving into the next phase of our copy, which is, here's some claims, we're moving more into the logical side of their brain, which is the more reasoning of why this is a great product. So if we move into the niche of candles, for example, you don't want to say things like, the best candle burns clean, because that's just what all candles will say. Best candle burns clean. It's like, you can't prove if that's true or false. And if you can't prove that, then this is a statement without proof, which means, how am I supposed to believe it? So what you do is you state something with proof. So you say, this candle is best lit before bed, or helps you relax and wind down the night because, or so that, those are the two words I love, it has lavender in it, proven to help you sleep throughout the night. Bing! There you go. What happens is you've just created an emotional, oh my gosh, I love this. Yeah, this is such a pretty candle. I love this vibe. I love the brand that they have. I can see visually, I'm sold. And then we move them into a claim that then's backed. We should be able to say, and this is all you have to do, is you just have to run it through a test to say, can that be proven? So when it says the perfect gift for mothers, can it be proven? Can that line itself be proven? The answer is no. You have to tell me why that is the perfect gift for mom. And if it helps mom sleep, tell me why it does. If it burns cleaner than other candles, tell me why it burns cleaner than other candles. If you can't do this, then you don't have a product that can work at scale. You're just trying to sell something as fast as you can to a convenient buyer, meaning someone has found you, clicked you, bought you, off they go. But if you're trying to build a brand, you have to have this step, which is proof that leads to your claims. So here's why we're great. Here's why we're the best. Here's why we help you sleep. Here's why our candles smell great. Here's why people buy them. And here's the reason why. And so again, I want you to just look at your website, see your claims, and ask yourself, can that be proven? And if not, let's fix it. All right, so number 3 is my favorite one, which is, can no one else say it? This is something I look at when I am investing time into growing a business. If I see it and people are coming to me and say, Jared, I got an idea. I got this thing. Let me take you to lunch. Let's talk about this thing. And I sit there. What I'm listening for is, can no one else say what you're about to say? And if that's the case, I can market you. If I'm hearing what you're saying, you're like, this is a really great idea. And I'm like thinking to myself, other people can say exactly what you just said. So, if we go back to our candle scenario, the best candle for mom, it's like, everybody can say that. I can't market that. I cannot do it. I need something that makes your candle unique that I can position this for. So I had a carpet cleaner guy talking to me the other day, and he was talking. He was like, I want to run Facebook ads. And I'm like saying to him, you cannot run Facebook ads if you're just going to, hey, I'm on the spot floor care. Let's do it. You just can't do it. So then he says, so this is where you branch into ads, which is one, you can do an offer, which is an offer. And the idea is you make an offer that's so irresistible, they can't help but to say yes. And that's going to help convert your Facebook ads. And then you use back-end sales to help get that. So returning customer, get them on a subscription, book their next appointment once you get their carpet cleaning, all that stuff. Because you're going to have kind of a loss leader with offer because you're giving discount on product / discount, and then you're paying for the ads. So you want to make sure that you have longevity with that customer, and then that's what makes that worth it. So for the most part, if we don't have that luxury, then we want to swing it over to, how can we claim something that no one else can claim? And then we lean into that with our marketing. And then once the marketing promotes the click, they come to the website, and that website then speaks to them, which we now know visually or emotionally. Then it goes into their logic side of the brain. And then where no one else can say it, moves into the justify side. Why would you buy their product? Why would you buy their candle? Why would you buy their mug instead of anyone else's? And it's because they can say something that no one else can. So there was this baby blanket that was, when I was an Etsy seller, I was in the baby niche, that they had this really great brand. There was 2 brands I really loved. In fact, I'm going to bring the Kickstarter video in for this brand that I thought was just really well done, because we had similar manufacturers. So I was running in the baby niche at the time. She was in the baby niche. And so we kind of rubbed shoulders, and she's a creative genius and did such a good job taking just a typical maxi dress and turning it into a product that fun moms wanted to buy. She was able to make that claim because her storytelling was, gosh, I really wanted to play with my kids. I learned how important it is to be silly with them, but it was just kind of hard as a mom with my clothes and I needed to feel a certain way to be silly, and my clothes allowed me to feel that. That's what she sold, and it was so, so powerful. I'm going to drop the video in right here. You can watch it.
My name's Whitney, and I live in Palo Alto, California, and I'm the creator of Sonnet James. I'm a designer and the mother of 2 wiggly, messy, beautiful boys. Being silly with my boys didn't come naturally to me, but I've learned how important it is that parents play with their kids. Too often, I felt like my clothes were holding me back. I wanted to be able to get dirty without ruining my dry clean only. What if there was a dress that made it easy for moms to get down on their kids' level and immerse themselves in their adventures? A dress that made you feel comfortable and spontaneous and ready to play, but also confident and attractive. Instead, I found myself sitting and watching my kids. What if we could play with our kids and feel beautiful? Suddenly, I knew what to do. Sonnet James started literally on the kitchen floor of my teeny tiny apartment. I felt like time was running out, and I wanted to be a playful mom for my boys right now, and so I made a play dress.
Okay, I just dropped that in. Hopefully you saw that and you could see what she was doing. She could have easily just said, here's some cute dresses I designed. Anyone want to buy them? Nothing different about it. All she did in this scenario is say, look, this is how I was feeling. This is what I think is important in this world. This is my mission. And she just, all three of those went through it perfectly so that you could feel it, connect to it, see it, embrace it. And now she's making a claim that you're like, oh, this does make me more playful. And she's showing that. It makes it believable. There's proof that's associated. It's all there. She's the proof. That's where that comes in. So I know this can feel intimidating. I know this can feel like a lot. I know this can feel like you have to be vulnerable in it. And there's truth to all of that. But also you are a creative person. You are an Etsy shop owner. You're looking to draw and build something online. You need to kind of, there's Alex Hormozi says this, someone was a coach for something and she says, I'm really nervous about making content online because I'm worried about people hating on me or not liking it or judging me for it and stuff like that. And his question was, are you more concerned about people not liking you or helping people who need you? And she was like, well, I'm more concerned about helping people that need my help. And he was like, okay, then stop worrying about that other stuff and get going. Like, I know that sounds easier on paper, but that mindset is true. If you want to build a brand, you have to be vulnerable. You have to seek. You have to be able to say, this is what I am trying to do. You have to exclude some people. Do I think that the dresses were excluding some people, maybe not moms or whatever? Like, yes, they do. But because she spoke to a specific person, that's where they just resonate and it connects and it works. So as you go out and start to build your websites, I want you to build them with this in mind. I want you to follow those three things that we talked about today, the framework that's there. Make sure that you're making claims that are true. Make sure that you can visually present those. Make sure that no one else can say what you are saying. And you will have a brand that a marketer is going to look at and go, I love what you're doing. So go build it. And then send it to me and I'll do a podcast episode on you. All right. As far as, I just want to make this announcement real quick. I'm going to be traveling for the next 4 weeks. I'll be in Guatemala. So if you want, I'm going to do some replays of some popular podcasts that I've had, but I'm also going to try to record a little bit while I'm out there. So I'll show you the scenery of Antigua, Guatemala when I'm out there. So if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, you can check me out on YouTube. I'll try to do a cool podcast out there so that you can experience that. Okay. Adios.